All right, good deal. Okay, well, welcome everybody to the Your 2023 Digital Marketing Plan webinar with Aveda Marketing. And I'm super happy to be with you guys today. And if you have a question, just use the chat today. We're using a new webinar platform, and for some reason, I can't I can't find the setting to let you guys talk. So if you have a question, just pop it in the chat. Bailey from my team is on, so she'll be kind of watching the chat as we go along. And let's just jump in. What I want this session to be for you guys is a chance for you to think about the year. I know we're already 19 days in, but a lot of times, if you haven't done these sort of planning sessions, still a good time, still a great time to take advantage of what's a brand new year for your assisted living facilities and to make a great digital marketing plan to move into the new year. All right, here we go. So, what is our plan for this session? So, I really want us to look at and set some clear goals and targets for the year. So, if you don't have goals, well, this would be a great time to kind of think through those things. And I'm going to throw a few KPIs at you guys um, that may help you set some of those targets for the coming year. All right, and then when we do this, I'm going to give you the tools and hopefully kind of the what you need to kind of map out a plan to really tighten up your online marketing this year. Okay, so hopefully today what you walk away with is some real good action items and clarity around what it is that you need to do to move forward. Okay, we're going to look at I'll be you guys will get these slides in a second. We're going to send you guys a link to a budget worksheet that will hopefully kind of help you rethink or think through some of the ways that you're spending your marketing dollars. But yeah, you guys will get all of these slides and everything. All right, so we're going to talk about your budget, some different channels for marketing, important trends that you guys need to know about, and hopefully set you up for some just great success in 2023. All right. Okay, so who am I and why should you even listen? Well, I've been a marketer for a long time, and recently last year wrote a book called the Book on Digital Marketing for Assisted Living Facilities. You can look it up on Amazon, or you can go to that link there, avedamarketing.com/book, and we'll send you a free copy of the book. I'm committed to this industry. I'm an active member with Tala and with Torch. And would love to get to know you guys better. So let's connect on LinkedIn or Facebook. You can find us there in both places. So happy to be with you guys today. All right, so let's get going. First thing we want to talk about is setting clear goals. Okay, and so what are your goals for 2023? If you've got a team, or have you talked about goals? Have you set those up and made those clear with the team for this year? A great quote by legendary Brian Tracy is, "Success is goals, all else is commentary." Without goals, we tend to just do things, right? We tend to kind of, there may be a lot of action, but if we don't really have our north point, right, where we're headed, sometimes we just end up wherever the wind takes us. But clear goals, with you see the team all aligned there with clear goals, we can point this ship where we want to go, and hopefully we get there soon, right? So if we think about some current, I'm just going to kind of take a current snapshot of where you are today with your business and your various. So I know some of you guys have multiple facilities. Some of you guys have your first facility and are thinking about the future and what you could do. But a couple of things I want you to think about as we go. And again, I'm going to send you the spreadsheet in a second that'll help you kind of think about this more concretely. But your average monthly revenue And then what are your, this one, I'm sure off the top of your head, but what's your occupancy rate? What are your number of beds? And then other key revenue metrics, average revenue per bed. Now, the reason, you want to think about that, right, is I know in some cases, especially if you don't have a really established business, you may be taking some business at lower prices that are bringing your average revenue per bed down. And maybe in 2023, that's a goal, is to let's increase our average revenue per bed, meaning, right, as through attrition, we would raise our prices by hopefully getting clients that can pay us more money, right? Average conversion on leads. So this is a thing where if you're not measuring this is something in 2023 you want to try and measure, is how many leads are coming in, how many do we actually get to book tours, and of those people that book tours, how many actually turn into closed business. Okay, so those are some of the things we're thinking about when we think about this. And then what's your long-term vision? What's your long-term vision for 2 years from now? And long term, it's 2023. I'm saying, what's your long term 2 years from now vision? Guys, I'm telling you, we're going to look up and it's going to be 2025 before you know it. Okay. Time is just flying by. And so let's set a stake in the ground today to say, okay, this is where we are today with our annual revenue. This is the number of facilities we have. Where do we want to be 2 years from now? Where do you want to be? So, and then take a moment, and I hope you guys have something there to write with, okay? But what would it mean, right? If you today, let's say you are at 2 facilities, and in 2025 you think you could get to 4 facilities. Well, why would we even put ourselves through that growth? Because that's not easy, right? So think about, what is the why? Why would we do that? Why would we want to grow our business? And so there's some things I think about when I think about my own business is, when I grow my business, I can have greater purpose in this world, and I can do more things and have more impact in the world. Of course, I benefit from that, but it gives me the ability to do more things for other people, right? And so thinking through your long-term vision of, say, a couple of years in the future will also drive us back to, okay, we need a good plan for this year if we're going to get there, right? Okay, so what are your goals for 2023? And then a good question for that is, how many leads will you need monthly to actually get there? Okay, so if your goal is to grow the business in 2023, then we got to have leads. We got to have leads, and how many do we need? Okay, so that brings us to the worksheet I was telling you guys about. Bailey, if you'll put the link to this worksheet in the chat, I want you guys to go grab that. Now, it's a Google worksheet. Okay, so if you're not logged into your Google account, when you click that link, it's going to ask you to log in. Okay, so go ahead and take a minute, and then when you guys get that open, let me know in the chat. Okay, and then I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk about this spreadsheet a little bit and how you can use it. So as soon as you guys get that open, just put a 1 in the chat and let me know that you have it and that you're ready to go. Yeah, Bailey says you want to make a copy, and I'll show you real quick. I'm going to stop sharing this and start sharing this tab. Okay. Okay, good deal. Now, don't be afraid. I'm going to explain it. Okay. So what you want to do is hit File and make a copy. Okay. Hit File and then make a copy. And that's going to open up a new spreadsheet for you. Okay. And what that'll allow you to do is edit it. Okay. Because the one I gave you is restricted. You got to make a copy if you want to actually make changes. Okay. All right. Good deal. So I'm going to use this copy. and kind of show you what this thing is and how you can actually use it. Okay, so you'll want to pay attention to these cells that say don't change this. Okay, so if you put your mouse in there and you see that that field is actually being populated by a little formula. So, but what you will change are these baseline metrics. So what's your average revenue per bed? Okay, so let's just say it's 4,500 is your average revenue per bed. Okay, we're going to change that cell. All right. Now, what's your total number of beds? Okay, so you guys know that, and let's say you've got a 16 bed facility. Well, then we'd put 16, and then what you're also going to want to update is how many empty beds do you have? So you see where mine is. I'm going to change that to, well, we'll just say we're having a tough month and we've got 10 empty beds. Okay, so the math changes for it. You saw that beds occupied is now 6. Okay, your occupancy rate was calculated. Now it's 37.50%. Okay, and it's also giving you a rough number on sales. So if you've got your average number, average revenue per bed, you've got the beds occupied, it's telling you here's what sales are. And it's also telling you here's what the opportunity is, right? So if we've got 10 open beds, we know we've got $45,000 worth of opportunity there. Okay. So what you've got is you've got one of these for every month, January, February, March, April, and it'll go down here. Okay. So that's how you use this guy to kind of get going, right? So you need to go once we're done today. You want to make sure you know these things. What's my average revenue per bed? And if you've got multiple facilities and your total beds is say 60 beds or something like that, and then you've got here you can see if we got a total of 60 and we have 10 empty. Now our occupancy rate just went up to 83.3. Everything changed for us. There we go. So that's how you use it. Now that's the goals sheet. Okay. The next sheet over is the lead generation target. Okay. So in your spreadsheet towards the bottom down there, click on lead generation target. Now here, if you click on that monthly revenue target, and then in parentheses, I say it comes from goals. That means that data is coming from that other spreadsheet. Okay. So monthly revenue target, 270,000. What's your average bed value? That's also coming from goals. It's $4,500. We put it in over there. Remember? Number of beds available. Now, this is one that you can change. Okay. So if you said I have 10 beds available. Now, here's another metric you guys need to know. What's my lead to tour conversion rate? Okay, so that's going to require that you count your leads. Where are my leads coming from and how many am I getting? And how many of those folks actually come tour the facility? So if it's 75%, then I need to at least get 13 leads just to get folks to come and tour, right? Now, keep going with me. Average cost per lead generated. The industry kind of average is about $500. So I've seen it at a 430. But when you take into account some of the more expensive, if you think about memory care or dementia care, where it's just costs more, then your average cost per lead, be thinking at about $500. Okay, and so that gives you the budget required. If I was going to get 13 good quality leads, my all-in budget would be about $6,600. Okay. Now, here's the plan, right? What we would want, right, is that we could drive down our cost per generated lead, because I'm going to show you some stuff today, right, where if we talk about local SEO, organic SEO, right? Now, that stuff, even though we're not paying anybody for that lead, obviously over time we've done things, we've spent money to get our SEO right. But if somebody calls you from Google My Business, comes and books a tour and moves in, essentially that lead, we didn't pay out any money for that lead. We got our SEO right, and that lead was one from organic SEO, which is what we want, right? So the plan would be to drive down our average cost per generated lead. And if we do that, then our budget can come down, right? So there's that one. Now, this next one, it just kind of helps you think about, where is my money going to go throughout the year. So and again, this spreadsheet will kind of work with your numbers. Okay. So if your annual projected revenue is $1 million, your marketing budget, you get to set that. I'll tell you, the Small Business Administration says you should spend about 8%. So that is totally up to you what you're going to do there. Just know, right, that if it does cost $500 a lead, you kind of have to think through that. Like, how much am I going to spend here? Well, if you bump this up to what they say at 8%, your total marketing budget would jump to 80 grand. It shows you about what you're going to spend each month. And then what we've done here is we've given you the ability to break down where you want to spend that money. So allocated to online marketing, 70%, offline 20%, and then repeat business 10%. And then this over here does the math for you. Okay. And then down here, this will give us the breakdown of online, offline, and repeat business and what we're going to spend in those areas. So essentially, this kind of gives you everything you need to kind of really kind of think through, okay, how much are we going to spend on marketing? Where's that money going to go? And this will give you the ability to kind of plan, right? So for today's purposes, I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time on it. Now, it does require that you go get those numbers. You want to know what those numbers are, then come back and play around with it. Now, do yourself a favor, make a copy, save a copy. That way, if you do happen to screw up a formula or something, of course you can holler at me and I'll help you, but make yourself a copy so that just in case you're playing around with it and a formula goes away, you're not stuck. Okay. All right. So let's jump back over here real quick. All right. So I hope that that's helpful, guys. And again, if you do have questions about that spreadsheet, put them in the chat, and Bailey will keep up with those questions, and we'll definitely follow up with those questions. Okay. Okay. So let's think about, what is it even going to take for you guys to get there? We got to have a good marketing strategy if we're going to get there. All right. So I'm going to fill this guy in and we can talk through it. But if we wanted a good growth model for assisted living facilities, there's really three big categories. Okay. One is we got to drive leads. Then we have to maximize conversion of those leads. And then we need to optimize the results. Okay. So we're going to be doing things, driving leads. Once we get leads, we need to make sure we optimize that, maximize conversion, and then make sure we do it right? We want to spend the least amount of money to get the most. Okay. So in driving leads, we're going to look at organic SEO, paid search, your current database, your current network, your current kind of community, maximizing conversion. We're going to look at your website, your reputation, meaning your reviews. How's all that look? Do you have a plan in place to get more reviews, to continually get reviews? And then how do we use automation to help us close more business? Okay. And then optimizing results. That's just where we look at, okay, what are we spending on marketing and how can we make sure that we drive down an average cost per lead? Okay. All right. So if we think about those three categories, driving leads, maximizing conversion, optimizing results. Under driving leads, we want to get new prospects through organic SEO. Okay. So that's going to be the website, directories, other non-paid sources. That's what we're looking for there. Okay. And then paid traffic is going to be where we would look to places like, um, Facebook ads, Google ads. Even I would, I really want to help, one of my goals and even trying to run this business is to help you guys get away from, uh, not placement services. I love placement services, but like the big, caring.com, a place for mom, where, they're, I don't want to dog those guys, but they're really trying to suck up all the air in the room and then charging you a lot of money to get, hopefully, get you a lead, right? I would love to set up the industry where you didn't need those guys. But sometimes you do need them. Sometimes we need them. So they would be in the paid category. And then your database. So we can look back at, your current existing folks, people that are in the community, because outside of your paid marketing, I promise you, if I was to ask you what's the greatest way you get new leads, and it's referrals, it's people, word of mouth. And so your existing database of current families, past families, is a big deal. Okay. And then in maximize conversion, we're going to look at the website. We're going to talk a lot about that today. Reputation, and then automation. All that stuff will make a lot more sense once we get into it. And then optimizing results, that we just talked through that. So what's your ROI? How do we drive down the average cost per lead? Okay. So where do you need to focus the most? So if if you're taking notes and you've heard me say these things, where do you think you need to focus the most? Okay. So just jot that down somewhere. Like, of those things, here's where I think we need to focus. Okay. So here's kind of another way to look at this. We call this the digital dominance method. And I'll send you these slides, but we've tried to put just about everything we know in the world of marketing is on this, on this wheel. Okay. So that'll be in the slides we send you. Okay. So let's jump in. Remember, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Let's jump in. We're going to talk a little bit about website optimization, specifically for conversion. Okay. The reason why is your website really is the hub. People, just like you guys, if you are thinking about doing business with someone, you're probably going to go look at their website, and that's exactly what they're going to come do to you guys. Okay. So why is conversion so important? Well, if we think about two different scenarios, and we think about some of the numbers we talked about a while ago, say you get 1,500 visitors a month to your website, and you've got about a 5% conversion rate on those. That would lead to 75 either phone calls or some version of a person raising their hand and saying, I'm interested. If your conversion rate is 30%, that should lead to about 22 booked tours, right? Well, not all the tours move in, right? But say your close rate is 20% on booked tours, then that would be about 4. And if your average revenue per bed, that means about 16,000 in new, revenue in a month. Scenario 2, where we bump up our conversion rate just 10% to 15%, same numbers. The only thing we change is conversion. You can see the difference, right? 13 new move-ins, and the revenue is quite different. So it's pretty clear as to why conversion is so important. So how do we optimize for conversion? Well, here's 12 critical elements to conversion, and I'm gonna show you some examples of these things when we get through here. But you have to speak to the right avatar, the person that's out there, the son or daughter, usually the daughter, right, who's looking for mom or dad for a place for assisted living. Sometimes it is the actual, the person's looking for themselves. But we need to know those folks, and we need to know what their fears and frustrations are, and why should they even choose you, right? Once we know those things, we can speak to what's going on to them. Be real. And I've got some examples of this. We want to use, authentic images of smiley, happy people, real people, your team, your residents. And also we want to use video as much as you can. We're in a world right now where with these devices, video is king, right? So we need to get good video of your home, what's going on in the facility, fun things that you can do. Leverage social proof, and that means we want to be able to put out there what people are saying good about you, right? So if you've got reviews, whether they're on Google or on your website or they're on different directory sites, we want to grab those and then showcase them on your website. Okay. So get the basics in order is number 5. Phone number in the top right-hand corner. Ensure you've got a clear call to action with a web form. And then in 7, we want to use special offers and coupons. So now this is one where sometimes, we take this from other industries, right? Other industries are using these things. So why not? Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we run specials on move-ins in February? It's something you can play around with, right? If we're looking at keeping our prices good and high and not caving to try to get the house full, we can use a coupon or a special to get folks in that, say, the first month, and then after that we can realize the full price, right? Make sure your website's mobile optimized. Most of them are today. If you're in a situation where you've got a really old one, then you might have some trouble there. Text today, chatting and texting today is a big deal. So make sure your website has that. There's a couple ways you can do it: a live chat, and then there's another way you can do it where it's a text to chat. That's actually my favorite, where trying to man a live chat can either get really expensive or take a lot of bandwidth from your sales team. Text to chat is with the right automation can be really good. And then you really want to give clients the ability to book a tour online. Let them see a calendar, let them pick a time they can come, and make it as easy as possible for them to do that. Make sure your site is fast. Okay, there's some tools we can use to measure that, but you want to make sure your site speed is good for the user. Okay, and then engage with folks, SMS and phone via marketing automation. So texting is a big deal. You want to be able to give them the ability to communicate with you and your staff via text, pay their bills via text. If you're running some respite care, then that's a perfect way to be able to just text an invoice, get paid quickly. Okay. So elements to conversion are there. This is an example of a great example of a website where they've got all the pieces in place. You can see in the top right-hand corner, the phone number is clear. Top right-hand corner as well, you can click book a tour, which gives you a calendar to pick a date, book a tour. Okay. And then down in the bottom right-hand corner is the text to chat widget, where a person could literally, get someone really fast to help them. Okay. Good example there. Now, be real and authentic. So what you're seeing here is a real image from a real facility with a real caregiver and a real guest, right? And that's really what we want. This site also has got live chat enabled, so they got those boxes ticked. And you can also see right there, schedule a tour is the main call to action. Okay. We want to leverage video. So if you were to click that video, it's going to pop up and there's a nice drone tour of what's going on in that facility. So you want to be able to leverage video for sure. Showcase social proof. There you can see they've got all the reviews right there on the website. You can actually click read more and it pops up and it tells you everything about the review that you would want to know. Okay. So get the fundamentals right. If you, at the very least, these are some things you could do, Usually these are pretty easy to do if you've got your webmaster or whoever's taking your website. Want to make sure we can get that phone number in the top right hand corner. Good, clear call to action. A lot of times people make a mistake here and they've got all kinds of things that people can do on the homepage. Keep it simple. Either book a tour, call now. Use real images. This may sound really hard. It just takes a little bit of focused effort. There are tons of real estate photographers out there that would love to come shoot your facility and your folks. Just do a quick Google search for where you are for real estate photography, and get those guys out there to take great, real good images of your people and your facility. And then once we get them, we can put them on the website where people can actually see and experience where they might live, where mom or dad might live. Okay. And then lastly, speak with empathy and authority. People, look, we all have moms and dads. So don't make the website so dry. We all got into this industry because we love to help our seniors, right? Moms and dads. So try and capture that and get it into the copy of the website, the feel of the website. Authority just means that you actually know what you're doing. So your social proof will help you there. If you've won awards, you want to put that on the website. Okay. Leverage chat, live chat, or two-way text. So live chat is exactly what it sounds like. When you click that, there's a person on the other end that's going to answer questions. And then text to chat is just where a person can click that, fill out a form, and get quick interaction with either with you or someone on your team. Okay. All right. Mobile ready. We already know that. Gosh, I really don't even need to tell you why, right? So many people are, when they're searching for senior living, they're starting on Google. I promise you, about 70% of folks start their search for senior living on Google. And you can see here, Google reports that 40% of mobile consumers moved away from a competitor site after a bad mobile experience. So you gotta make sure it's mobile ready. Okay. And what my example here is, you can see really clearly on this example, the phone number is so clear. And then the chat version down there on mobile is just really easy to use. Okay. Mobile ready. Okay. So really quickly, if you're taking notes, what are a couple things that you learned? Anything that, you noticed that you're like, I didn't know that. And then what are some things you want to share with your team? Okay. So if you're taking notes, just jot those things down, and we'll move on here. Okay. So I just told you guys that 70% of folks who start their search for senior living do it on Google. Okay. So what does that mean? You need to be able to come up in search. And let's talk a little bit about that. So if we think about SEO, does it matter? Do we even need to, make that a focus? What you're seeing here is a picture of a Google search, assisted living near me, and you're seeing the map pack. So we call that the map pack. There's three companies will show up in the map pack. And just below that, you can see that it's caring.com. Well, those guys have really, really taken over those results. After the map pack, Google knows that you're searching for senior living or assisted living. So it's going to show you, after the map pack, it's going to show you what, has got the biggest results, which is usually a place for mom, caring.com. But the map pack is meant to be for local. And so that's where you want to be, right? So about 70% of people, if it's a local search, and Google knows when it's local and when it's not, 70% of folks are clicking there, okay? The other 20% will click on the ads. The ads show up first, and then the map pack, and then the organic results, okay? So about 20% of folks are clicking there. So the point is that absolutely SEO 100% matters. Don't rely on pay-per-click alone. Good SEO, like I was talking about when we were looking at the spreadsheet, good SEO will lower your cost per lead. So there's a couple things you can do, today is get into your Google business profile, and you can see in the tracking how many people are calling you from Google business profile. So if you actually earn phone calls from organic SEO, you don't want to miss that. And you also want to be tracking it. So if I was to say to you, how many folks are calling you off of Google business profile, and you don't know the answer, then you really want to know that, okay? Because we want to know that the folks in charge of sales are answering those calls. The tracking on Google business profile will tell you, it will tell you how many calls are answered and how many are missed, okay? So you're going to want to really dig into that and know, okay? Okay, so when we think about assisted living keywords, here they are. These are kind of the main ones, right? Now, when we want to adjust this for local, we would put our local cities in those words. Nationally is what you're seeing here. Nationally, 100 assisted living near me is searched 135,000 times a month. That's per month. Those numbers are average numbers, but that's pretty close. And then, of course, depending on your area, if you put in assisted living near me, Google knows where you are, okay? And so they're going to show you local results. But you can see the numbers of where people are searching those things monthly, okay? All right. So how do we win this game at SEO? One of the things is some of this stuff is kind of technical, but on-site optimization. And so what you want is to make sure you got a good, strong website with good content and a good user experience. And how do you know that, right? Well, just ask your friends and family to go look at your website and ask them, hey, is it easy to do business with us? Is it easy to figure out where to go and what to do? That's a good way to do that, right? You want to have pages on your website for each of your services. Okay, so that could be, if you do offer assisted living and memory care, but you definitely want a page for both, right? Because folks who need memory care are going to search for memory care. They're not going to search for assisted living. They're going to search for memory care near me or best memory care facilities in Arlington or wherever you are. So you want to have service pages for each service that you offer, okay? And what you want to think through on that is, what are people searching? So if they're searching for a specific service, then and there's enough traffic for that, then let's make a page for that. Then pages for cities that you serve. So you definitely, absolutely want your main city. So I'm sitting in Arlington, Texas. So if I had a facility here, I would definitely have a page for Arlington, Texas. Now, there's a bunch of other cities around me. Kennedale's right there. Mansfield's right there. We want those so that, right, if it's a local search, hopefully we can move ourselves up in that local search for different cities, right? On those city pages, make sure you have unique content, meaning I don't want to make a page for Arlington and then just copy it for Mansfield and use the exact same content. You want unique content, because Google, believe it or not, they know that stuff and they're looking for what the user experience is like on these pages. So you want unique content. Plus, it gives you the ability to go to rank for different things to try and get folks to that page. Keyword in the title and H1. So on every page of your website, there's a title for that page. And you want, if it is assisted living, if you want that keyword, it should be in the title of that page. So a page title might say assisted living and then dash, senior care in Spring, Texas. Okay, so we've got a couple of good keywords in the title of the page. Now the H1 is the heading, the main heading on the page. You want to make sure that your keyword, the main keyword, is in that H1, okay? Because that it just helps Google. When Google crawls the site, it can tell what it's about and it can serve that page up to the right people, okay? Every single page has a meta description. Basically, all that is it tells the Google bot, right, what this page is about. And if you look in a search engine results page, you'll see the meta description of the page. And what you want to do is write that in a way that'll actually get someone to click on it. So if you've gotten onto the search engine results page, make your meta description sell the page, right? Okay, so you want to do that. Now, this next one, name, address, phone number in the footer, is really important. And we'll talk about it again a little bit in a little bit, but name, address, phone number should be consistent with what's on your Google business profile, okay? And what I mean is, if you got STE 100, Suite 100, don't have SUITE 100 on the website and STE on Google Business Profile. You don't want to confuse anyone. Mainly, you don't want to confuse the directories and Google. You want to make sure that thing is consistent across the world. Okay, so that's a big deal. The next one, blog with ongoing updates and syndication. So you want to make sure you're putting out decent content monthly. And then when I say syndication, I mean let's move that stuff out there. You really want to push it. We have a pretty cool strategy for digital press releases that really helps our clients get more traffic and move up in the search rankings. But you want to focus on page speed, making sure that for the user that it's not slow. I know I'm a busy guy, and if I interact with a page that is not quick to load, I'm probably going to go to something else. I'm going to go to whatever was next in the search or whatever. So just make sure that when you go to your website, and here's the test for that, okay? You go on your wife or husband's phone who hasn't been on the website all the time. Maybe it's not cached in their browser, right? Or go to use an incognito browser that you're not logged into and see what the experience is like. If it's good enough, then it's good enough. If it's slow, you might need some help, okay? So you just don't want a slow website because, man, if you've done the work to get them there, don't make them go away with a crappy, slow website, okay? All right, off page. I'm going to get these on the page here. Okay, so off page meaning not on your website, okay? So you want to claim, first of all, this is so big. If you even want to show up on Google Maps, you have to go claim and optimize your Google business profile. That is like table stakes. If you don't have that, honestly, jump off the webinar and go start it because it's such a big deal, okay? Then you want to go get lots of citations across the website. A citation is where your business is going to show up in a directory all across the internet. And there are literally thousands of directories that you can list your website on. We have a service where we can kind of do it in mass to save you a lot of time and headaches, but you want to be on citations across the website, okay? Build up your online reviews. Now, you need a strategy for this. You have to actually, now, don't hear me wrong on this. If you've got a great business, and I know the folks on this webinar do, you will earn reviews. But you also need to ask for them, okay? So there's lots of ways to do that. We have a tool in our system in Aveda Go that will help you automate review requests. There's lots of them out there, but you want to find a way to, ask for those reviews in the right way, right? Okay. And then go build authoritative links back to your website from other websites. Think of links kind of like a, popularity. If you've got good content, other people are going to find it and they're going to link to it. And that's a backlink. So that's one of the things that really help you move up in the rankings is to get links from other websites. Okay. And then strategic content syndication. You heard me talk about this. You want to make sure our content is getting out. A couple of reasons. One is, the Google we want to send the right signals to Google, but also we want to get it in front of the right people. So, okay, so are you building links and authority? So once you've got the right pages, city pages, service pages, you know, getting links is a big deal. He who has the most quality links wins. And I say quality links. Your links, there was a time in the internet world, right, where you could go buy links from all over the world and it worked. But Google has gotten so much smarter. So Google knows if you've got a link from a website in the Philippines for a casino, it doesn't count. It's going to filter it out. Okay. So we need quality, relevant links to your industry. Okay. So that's kind of where all the work comes from, is finding quality links, relevant links back to what we do. Okay. So quick wrap up. On page, we need pages for our services in main cities. Optimize your titles, your H1s, URLs, images. You can build keywords into all those things, and then unique content for all pages. GMB is Google Business Profile. It used to be called Google My Business. Make sure you do that, okay? And then the rest of those bullet points really means let's go get a lot of citations across the internet. And we want to make sure we're keeping up with that on a regular basis, because there are some niche directories forcing your living, and we want to make sure you're on them, and constantly kind of pushing that traffic through directories. Ongoing content, we want to write good quality blogs and then push it out. And then signals leveraged. Okay, so a big deal with Google is this acronym called EAT: expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And so when Google looks across the internet, they want to try and establish whether or not you're a trustworthy outfit, because that's who they want to put in front of people. Okay. All right. So quick checklist there. Is your website optimized for search engine rankings? You guys will get this slide, and it'll kind of help you go through those things there. All right, quick takeaways. If you're taking notes, what'd you learn? What'd you notice that maybe you didn't know? And then what is it that you want to share with your team? Okay, so kind of get those things down as we move forward here. So if we think about Google My Business, Google Business Profile, there are some things that we can do to make sure you get ranked in that 3-pack. Because I got to tell you, the 3-pack really is where the gold is. You know, your business, assisted living, memory care, it's local. It's local. Folks are looking, for mom or dad close to them. And so you got to really think, man, the 3-pack is where it's at. So here are some things you can do in this little checklist that you can take with you. But these are the things you can do to really try to boost your rankings in the Google Maps. One of the things we do for our clients is we do digital press releases, and we send lots of signals to Google for this very reason, to try to get them to move up in the map pack. Okay. So you want to definitely make sure you're on Google Maps. Okay. So are you taking advantage of paid marketing opportunities? I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but I do want you to think about it. Right now, with the right setup, right, the right audience, with the right budget, you could turn on real leads real fast with Facebook, Google Ads. You can do that. And so you just got to know that, right? And then other paid ways, you guys know the other paid ways. You could call your rep today from A Place for Mom or caring.com and get leads, right? Okay. So you definitely need that in the arsenal, the paid online marketing. You absolutely need that. Okay. So it's just how do we, what's the right formula for doing that? Okay. All right. So here's another one with social media. I get a question a lot is should we be, spending time and effort on social media? And the answer is yes. I mean, because just like your website, not everyone, but a lot of people are going to look you up on social media and see, is what's there. Are they active? Are they posting, what's going on in the home? And so, some real places where you kind of want to be, absolutely Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, um, LinkedIn, YouTube. Bailey and I were doing some kind of research on TikTok, and she showed me some really innovative, cool stuff that some folks are doing on TikTok, where they're doing like a fashion show where these ladies are they're telling them what they're wearing and where they got it. It's just really cool stuff, and I think that sort of interaction on these different channels is important. And so you want to make sure this is something that's kind of in the plan. How are we going to do this? Okay. Because that's really kind of what I want you to think about is how are we going to pull this off? Okay. Because here's also something I know about this industry, especially for those of you who are maybe have one residential care home or maybe two. You're wearing a lot of hats. Okay. So this is something that you could really utilize automation to help you. And automation, I'll show you some stuff here in a bit, but if you can do a little work all at once and then have the tool post for you, then it's a win-win, right? Now, it does take a little work to set it up. It takes a little work to make sure you've got the content in the right places and the dates set to where it goes at the right time. But it absolutely can save you a lot of time, a lot of headaches by using automation. Okay. Okay. Email marketing, believe it or not, email marketing is not going anywhere. Okay. It doesn't matter what you do. Even if you want to go set up a TikTok account, you got to have an email, right? So email marketing is not going anywhere. And if you're not using it, then you're kind of missing the boat because people definitely will want to hear from you. Okay. And so you can utilize tools like ours. Ours is called Aveda Go. We built this thing for assisted living. It does a ton of stuff. Email marketing is one of them. But MailChimp, Constant Contact, MailerLite, those are all good tools you can use to do email marketing. Now, why? What for, right? Why would we even want to do that? Well, there's lots of things you can do with it. So let's say you've set up a Facebook ad campaign, someone raises their hand. You can, with email marketing, immediately email that person and put them into a nurture campaign where you can send them multiple emails over the course of 6-8 weeks, right? And hopefully get them to come in, book a tour, and provided that they're financially qualified. Whoops. Email marketing is a great way to do that. So anyway, that's a great way to do that. You can quickly communicate with potential guests via automation. What I just told you, that whole nurture thing, in our system, it's set up to just do it. It just happens, right? We've already written the emails so that once you get the lead, they're getting those emails without you having to do any work, okay? So just think about that. What if 6 emails was ready to go once they raised their hand, and we could communicate with them over 6 weeks to try and get them to come take a tour? That's what I'm talking about. You can use it to communicate with current family members, active guests with newsletters. You can do review requests, communicate about upcoming events, constant communication with your referral partners, email marketing. So if you're not doing that, another thing you can think of really quickly, I didn't put on here, but is your database kind of reactivation. Okay. Now, look, I know in this industry, folks come live at your facilities and they go home to be with the Lord, but that family is still, still a network in our network, and they know people who know people. So if we can put together really good, valuable content that doesn't necessarily have to do with the day-to-day operations of the assisted living facility, but could have to do with senior living, right? Then we have a category of email folks that we can send things to that hopefully we could get referrals from them. So just another thought. So are you leveraging email and marketing automation? This is really a big one. And I'm telling you, I think I got a slide about this, but this is so important for smaller operators who are trying to do many, many things. Leveraging email and marketing automation is just it. If you're not doing it, it has to be in your 2023 plan, okay? Because it's going to save you so much time and get you in front of a lot more potential guests, okay? All right, so the biggest marketing issue facing assisted living facility owners and operators, we just talked about it, okay, is it lead flow? Well, you might think so. You may be sitting where you are and think, well, yeah, it kind of is because I haven't gotten a lot of leads lately. It's not. It's that 50 to 60% of inbound leads leave unconverted. 90% of web forms fail to convert. And part of that is not even the fact that you don't have it. I told you guys earlier that Google Business Profile will tell you how many people called and how many calls got missed. So just think about this for a second. How many calls do you think you guys are missing? I promise you it's a little more than you think. Okay? So this is the biggest problem, is that leads can come in through the website, through Google Business Profile, but we're not converting those leads. We might touch them once and then we just let it go. Leads that are not followed up within 15 minutes will literally go cold. Why? Because they just did the search. If you got first place in the map pack, but you didn't answer the phone, they're going to number 2 and number 3 if they didn't answer, right? So the average customer, you need to follow up with 5 to 7 times before they may even book a tour with you. Okay, so you could call and talk. They're just getting information. If they're just getting information, great. Let's get that information. Now let's email them. Let's send them what it's like to live at our facility. And, so, and I'll tell you this, they really do prefer to interact via text versus a phone call or email. Okay, so if you don't have the tools to send texts, you need it. Put that in the 2023 plan. Hey, we really do need this as we move into the future. Okay. So what's the solution? So you have to leverage marketing automation to follow up with web forms within 2 minutes of submission via phone, email, text. One or all of those. Okay. 2 minutes. So if someone calls from Google Business Profile, in our system, we have an automatic recipe that will immediately text that person that says, hey, we missed your call. How can we help? Right? It's a text, and that text, they can reply to that text. Now, what's going on in the background? As soon as that happens, someone on your team is getting notified so that they can follow up with that person. Okay. So automate the follow-up. That's what I was just talking about, so that every prospect is touched 5+ times and able to engage two-way text messaging. So the 5+ times could be that email nurture sequence that I talked about. You should have, if you don't, write this down for 2023. you should have a guide, whatever you want to call it, a guide to assisted living, a guide to memory care that you can email new leads right away. Okay. They're calling to find out pricing. They're calling to find out, hey, do you have any availability? Hey, yes, we do. Would you like to come in for a tour? No, I'm just kind of shopping around right now. Okay, great. What's your email address? Or they may have filled out a web form. Put them into the nurture sequence. Okay. If you don't have it, if you don't have the guide, we wrote one. We can change the branding for you. Now you got one. You're welcome. Just let us know that you want it. Okay. So remember the math from earlier. I'm not going to go through this again, but if we can increase conversion just 10%, look at the difference in the revenue. Okay, at the bottom. That's what we're doing with automation. Is we're increasing conversion from 5% to 15%. Okay. Okay. Aveda Go is our tool. If you want to check it out, go to alf.avedamarketing.com. It's all there. You can look at it. You can also schedule a strategy session with me. Just go to our website, avedamarketing.com. There's a button there that says schedule a session, and you'll get a calendar, and you can pick a time, and we can get online and really go through some things. Okay. So, are you leveraging email and marketing automation? All right. So, if you really want, help, just let us know. You can put it in the chat. You just reach out to us. We're really here to help. So, what are your top action items? Okay, I'm sure today that some things just popped up. Some things have been on the list, right, for a long time. Some of you are thinking, I've been planning to get a new website for a long time. We got to get this done Q1 2023. We got to get marketing automation Q1 2023. Okay. So write those down. Here's what we covered, guys. We want to set clear goals and targets for the year. I sent you guys have the spreadsheet, so you can look at what your main KPIs are, how you're tracking those to achieve those outcomes. Get a plan together for this year. Get it mapped out. Okay. What's your budget? Okay, look at that. Start with what your current annual revenue is. The spreadsheet will help you do this, and it'll help you back into what should we be spending on marketing. Okay. All right. Hopefully, this is the catalyst to set you up for massive success in 2023 and into the future, right? So, if you do want a free marketing review where we'll look at all these things for you, then all you got to do is reach out. You can call the number there, 817-904-5080. Go to the website and book a schedule a session with us, and we'll be happy to help you guys out. We'll do some research before, and we'll come prepared with really good information, showing you where you are in the local search rankings, where you are when it comes to directory listings. We'll have all that stuff ready. So if it's something that you're interested in, please reach out and let us know. All right. Well, that literally wraps up what I have for you guys today. And I am really, really appreciative that you guys would come spend an hour with us. And if you have questions, I'll be around a little bit here if you want to put them in the chat. Again, you've got our contact information if you want to reach out to us online. We would really love to see you guys. And that's all I've got. So any questions, please pop them in the chat. If not, we'll see you guys soon. And I'll be hanging out here for just a moment, okay? All right, good deal. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And